At night, a locked front door serves as the primary threshold between a home's predictability and the unknown variables of the outside world. When a knock interrupts that silence, the mind immediately attempts to find a polite rationalization, a neighbor needing help, or a delivery driver who simply has the wrong house. For an intruder, this reflex to be helpful or social is not a virtue. It is a point of entry to be manipulated. On a Thursday at 8:45 p.m., a freelance designer working alone at the end of a dead-end street heard 4 firm knocks on her door. Through the peephole, she saw a man in the baseball cap holding a cardboard box and a handheld scanner. He asked for a name she didn't recognize, though he recited her exact address with perfect accuracy. After being turned away, the man walked down the driveway and turned the corner on foot. No delivery truck or vehicle was parked anywhere in sight. The same man returned the following night with the same box. By the 4th night, he arrived empty-handed. He knocked on the dining room window before circling to the back of the house, where the owner heard the distinct sound of metal tools scraping against the doorframe. This sequence was never a logistical error. It was a multi-day intelligence operation designed to test the perimeter and map the residents' response. When police eventually arrested the suspect in a neighboring town, they discovered his vehicle contained nothing but empty cardboard boxes and a handheld scanner that had no connection to a real delivery company. During questioning, the man detailed a systemic methodology for vetting potential targets, known as occupancy mapping. Occupancy mapping relies on binary logic. A fake package creates a low-stakes interaction. If the door opens, the intruder marks the property as occupied and retreats. If it remains closed, the house is tagged as a viable target for a later breach. To refine this data, the intruder monitors patterns of activity over several nights. If lights remain on during the first probe, but go dark on the second, the intruder can deduce the exact window when the home is most vulnerable. Hiding in silence does not create a deterrent. To a scout, an unanswered door is the definitive signal of an empty house. If the initial front door probe is inconclusive, intruders move to Phase 2, perimeter testing. In Idaho, 2 residents experienced this escalation when a knock at the kitchen window was followed by a tap on the laundry room glass, and finally, a knock on their bedroom window. When the sun rose, a single set of footprints in the snow tracked the intruder's path as they meticulously circled every window and door of the property. This tactic focuses on exploiting isolation. In Springfield, Oregon, a mother and her children watched a man in a yellow raincoat approach their driveway late at night. The man began screaming and banging aggressively on the door. Without a phone to call for help, the family was effectively trapped, listening as the intruder attempted to force his way in. Perimeter testing is a psychological weapon. It is designed to induce panic, verify that the residents are isolated, and locate the physical entry point with the least resistance. Phase 3 is the pivot point, where intelligence gathering ends and the physical violation of the home begins. In Scotland, a family spent weeks ignoring quiet knocks at their door, assuming it was a neighborhood game called Chappie, where local kids knock and run. At 2 a.m. on Christmas night, the family woke to find an intruder already inside. He was staggering up the stairs, moving systematically from bedroom to bedroom as the family slept. When confronted and forced back outside, the intruder's behavior turned violent. He punched through the glass window with his bare hands, pushing his face into the jagged frame to scream threats at the residents. Allowing these probes to go unchecked builds the intruder's confidence. Once they believe a house is theirs to test, the transition to physical force is inevitable. The aftermath of these encounters creates a permanent psychological shift. Survivors often report a lasting hypervigilance, a reliance on camera systems, and a total refusal to interact with the outside world after dark. A door is more than wood and steel. It is a psychological barrier that requires a clear boundary to be effective. The knock functions as a pressure test. It forces the homeowner into a reaction, either opening the door and compromising the home's primary defense, or remaining silent and providing the intruder with the data they need to justify a break-in. When a resident fails to project a clear presence, they effectively hand control of the property over to the predator. Neutralizing this threat requires a specific tactical shift in how we handle unexpected late-night visitors. You should never open the door to a stranger at night. The moment the latch turns, the physical advantage of the home disappears. However, pretending the house is empty is equally dangerous. It confirms to the intruder that their target is unoccupied and safe to enter. The most effective defense is a safe verification of presence. Speak through the locked door, use a two-way intercom, or activate a camera system to let the visitor know you are watching. Communicating that a home is occupied without ever compromising the physical barrier breaks the intruder's script. It renders their intelligence useless and forces them to abandon the attempt.